Children and adults from all over delight in the irresistible flavor of the biggest soup in the world, the plastic soup.
Thank you.
Prepared only with unnatural ingredients, just like we found it in the oceans.
Yeah.
And yes, we followed the most poisonous recipe. With the strongest shopping bags, the most colorful packaging and all kinds of disposable products, and now with even more clothes microfibers. An unwholesome treat for everyone's palates. Daily eaten by turtles, whales, birds, fish, and even shellfish. Get it now in the 40-gram size. The precise amount of plastic each person dumps into the ocean every month. Give in to the latest trend. The soup to end all soups, and indeed, to end everything and everyone. The plastic soup. Get it now on plasticsoup.info.
Who's hungry? Okay. I'm very unrehearsed, so I apologize. Oh. Okay. So I'm obviously here to talk about plastics. Never disappears. It just gets smaller and smaller, as we all know. 35%. Can we make that smaller so I can see the slide?
Yeah, no problem. You can go ahead.
I just want to make that smaller so I can actually see the slide. I'm sorry. I'm a little unrehearsed, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. So 35% of our clothes contain plastics, which just turns into microplastics. 28% of the microplastics out there come from car tires. Yeah, exactly. So we need an interesting solution for car tires, which we don't have at the moment. 18 billion cigarette butts are tossed each day, which is very interesting because I know a lot of people in this country smoke, and in the States, I think the amount is a lot lower. But it's very interesting that Europe, I feel like, is so far ahead of us in terms of other green initiatives, but then there's some things that are just different. You know, all of the stuff that we use, diapers, washing products, we just have so much plastic waste from different industries and just everything we use. Now I can't advance this. Just some tech issues, guys. Okay. Okay. So it just keeps going. Okay. So I'm part of End Plastic Soup. I actually just joined them recently along with End Plastic Solutions. And it's really, our mission is to just reduce the amount of plastic and help get rid of the stuff that we already have on this planet, because we have a lot on this planet. I don't know why it's doing that. So End Plastic Soup started in 2018 in Amsterdam, and the person who started it is in this video. Got the video. Yes.
Welcome, my name is Gert-Jan van Dommelen. I'm the co-founder of End Plastic Soup, the initiative for Rotary to end plastic pollution. Come on, join us.
Why do we need to act? Because of loss of biodiversity, human health, and climate change. What you can do: take action, create awareness, and build alliances. Join End Plastic Soup. We offer our network, our experience, and our help.
The planet takes care of itself, but we have to take care of the planet. Thank you for supporting us, and please help us to solve the plastic pollution problem. End plastic soup now.
Great. So I don't know why it's doing this. So you guys aren't seeing the same thing. Oh, you are. Okay. So my name is Andrea Lacroix. And I just became the regional ambassador for Eastern North America. So that's the whole region that I cover. This is a new position for me. But my background is that I have been involved in my town's waste reduction committee for 12 years now. So I've always been interested in recycling and the planet. A couple of years ago, I took a class. It's a US-based class called from a group called Beyond Plastics. I took the class going in thinking, oh my God, plastic is just a waste issue. I know so much about plastic. And after a 14-hour class, I discovered that I learned a ton about plastic that I didn't know. And one of the major factors that really got me motivated was climate change, yes, but the health of plastics, it's just ruining our health. Like every single person born today is being born with plastics in their systems. So I give a lot of talks through Rotary, and I've just become very well known. So I get invites to speak at other groups as well about plastics, which is not the focus of my talk today, which is why I'm less rehearsed on this. And if you put my other presentation in front of me, I could do it in my sleep. But I joined up with the Plastic Cafe through SRAG. The Plastic Cafe has become Plastic Solutions and has merged with End Plastic Soup. So that's where we are today. So I worked with Gert John on some of the slides here. I don't know why it keeps doing that. And so, we just wanted to just highlight a couple of things about End Plastic Soup and the problem, and, along with Rotary, the major impacts on climate diversity, the power of the oil and plastics industry, and the long-term goal. We have a lot of plastics on the planet today, and the plastics industry is still making a lot of plastics. They're going to triple to quadruple the amount of plastics that they produce in the next. I hear different statistics. That's why I said triple or quadruple. And I also hear by 2050, 2060, it doesn't matter. The oil and gas companies and the chemical companies are just out there producing. So we need to move to a more circular economy where we're making less plastic and reusing the plastic that we already have. Okay, it stayed. So I thought that I had taken the slide out, unless that's my last slide. Yeah, I guess that's my last slide. So just a couple of points that were emailed to me, so excuse me. So we are a worldwide initiative by Rotary and Rotaract clubs to stop plastic pollution, with awareness, club actions, and international alliances, solution, and collaborations with authorities and industries. I actually love the power of conferences like that, because that what Michael said before about not just cleanups, but cleanup walks puts a new spin on a cleanup. And I'm actually going to now create an initiative within my club and my town to not just do cleanups, but to form it into some sort of walk, maybe a fundraiser for something. I don't know. I'll think about it. I have to let it digest a little, but so I love collaborations like this. But it's an initiative started in 2018, and it's now supported by 1,000 clubs in 64 countries, and 20 international projects, including 5 global grants, are in process. I think that's amazing. It's an volunteer organization run by Rotarians and Rotary, and complies with the bylaws of Rotary action groups, honoring the values of Rotary, realizing the vision of Rotary, creating more impact, expanding our reach, increasing participation, and enabling Rotary to change. We are all Rotarians, several board members, and also members of WashRag, SRAG, and other rags. We are community leaders serving local and international communities. Projects, visuals, knowledge, solutions, experiences are being shared with Rotary. So there goes on, but it's just a lot of so. So my world is plastic. If anyone has any questions on End Plastic Soup or plastics, I'm happy to take them. Thank you.
I don't know if there are questions. Otherwise, I can ask you,
Yes,
Mario.
I have one.
yes.
Just one. How did you make get the cooperation from entrepreneurs for circular economy or for recycling plastics? Because of course, I don't think that burning is the best solution for plastics. So no.
No, it's great, really. It just puts toxins in the air. What's wrong with that? Right? So that is the dilemma, right? It's also very interesting. I was noticing you guys have glass Coca-Cola bottles here, and we don't in the States. And Coca-Cola is one of the biggest polluters. And they made a promise that they were going to become more green. And then slowly they just sort of backed away from it and just stopped advertising it. And they never took action on it. Maybe here in Europe, they're doing it. But in the United States, they can get away with a lot more. So we face some challenges in the States that you guys don't face here. So I also do think, though, I like to call it power of the purse. And that's a message that I spread all the time. So a very quick story about BPA. Does everyone know what BPA is? Bisphenol. Yep. Bisphenol A was in a lot of products like baby bottles and water bottles. And somehow it captured the attention of the EPA. There was a story, I heard it. I can't remember the entire story. But what I do remember about it is that companies all of a sudden started producing products without BPA. There are other bisphenols, by the way, but not BPA. But all of a sudden, they're now labeling all these products as BPA free. Now, they didn't do it because the EPA said BPA is banned. Does everyone know what the EPA is? Environmental Protection Agency. Yep. But BPA was not banned. I think it was in 10 states, but not in the entire country and not in the entire world, although Europe probably bans it. But companies started making BPA products because people stopped buying products with BPA. So the power of the purse is huge. And I tell that to every single person that I talk with, is that for most everything we buy, we have alternatives. So the more and more people that are buying the alternatives, then it's going to affect industries. Now, we do have some industries that do produce that circular economy, or at least end the chain. So, plastic bags, we have a lot of plastic bag bans in effect. I think you guys, I don't know if Italy has banned plastic bags as a whole. Well, okay, great. So, okay. Yeah, okay. But we have companies that will take all those plastic bags and then turn them into other products. Now, the process for turning them into the other products is as toxic or even more so than producing the plastics to begin with. But we have to do something with all the plastics. So until we have a lot of pushback, because I think it really is going to start with the consumer not buying the products versus the industry saying, oh, we want to go green. Because like I said, Coca-Cola made that green pledge and then backed away from it. So it's very hard. It has to start with us, the consumers, pushing back on the corporations.
Sorry, can I just make a comment? I don't want to be controversial, but
Yes.
there's also pushback from the legislative side in the states with the new administration. I mean, has the EPA been abolished?
Do we still have an EPA? Yeah, that's a very controversial subject, and we are Rotarians. We're not supposed to talk about that stuff. But listen, so the woman that started Beyond Plastics was the EPA administrator under Barack Obama. And that as soon as Lee Zeldin was appointed as our new EPA administrator, we had a call, all of Beyond Plastics. We were on a big webinar, and her message is this is the time where we need to be strong and fight like hell. We cannot give up. So we definitely have challenges, but we just have to power on because consumers, a lot of consumers, when they understand what's in plastics and how it's affecting not just our planet, because it is affecting our planet, it is affecting climate change, but it is really affecting our health. So once they start getting the message, like we have so much plastic in our brain, right? Once they hear those, and then the thing that gets men, sorry to say this, but it lowers sperm count, right? So when we start saying that to men, like then they start to get messages, and change is slow, but I do think that we do have some power to start to change things. It's going to be slow, but I think at some point, yeah, I can't give up. Any other questions?
I was thinking about the,
Raise the voice, please.
plastic soup, pollution. These are global issues.
Global.
That deserves global solutions. In this sense, Rotary as a force to tackle those issues and to address also a solution in an international way. Especially by, for example, scale projects. Okay, is there in this sense, as plastic soup thought about implementing scale scope, proposing scale scope to Rotary Foundation in order to giving a global solution, a global project that many Rotary clubs can deploy all over the world?
So that's a very interesting question. And one of the things that we're doing, I mean, it's a very hard thing to do, in every area represents its own challenge. One of the things that we're doing on the Plastic Solutions website is I don't know that it's done yet, but we have a plastic pledge. And once you take the plastic pledge, we send you a bingo card, and we send one for individuals and for club levels. We'd love to roll this out to every single club. That's our goal. We're starting small. And the bingo card is just a fun way to say, oh, I use reusable bottles. Oh, I buy, shampoo bars rather than plastic shampoo stuff, and a whole bunch of different ideas and swaps on that. And, to bring it to the club level, and also, at the club level, talking about, when you give, awards or prizes to people, making sure that nothing that you're using is plastic, or when you have a special event, making sure that nothing you use here is plastic. Like you guys have the plastic cups here, right? Haven't used a plastic cup in a long time, but I really wanted some water, and I don't have my own today. But, I presented to a club that is the most green club I have ever been to. And every single person brings their own coffee cup to their meeting, and they call it their club mug. So presenting challenges like that to every club. Now, I've done presentations at like 20 different clubs in my district, and every club has its own challenge. Some are at restaurants, and I was at one restaurant where they served the coffee in real cups, and then everything else was plastic, which I was shocked about because you're at an actual restaurant. So I couldn't understand why they would do that. And then there's one club that does takeout. So every single thing they use but I think that ever since I've given my presentation, they try to think of different ways where they can lower the amount of plastic. Like instead of providing bottled water for everybody, having everybody just bring their own water bottle. So the bingo cards provide those types of solutions, both individually and at the club level, to try to help you think of other ways to become plastic free.
Yeah, I have a silly question. It's a lot of time that I don't come to the States. In Italy, since before COVID, it was a normal rule to collect the tap of the different plastic bottle and then to bring in big sack to the church, to some community, and then they were recycled. Now, instead, there is always the tap that I hate this, that you can't remove from the bottle. And it's a mess if you want to drink like this. Do you do the same in the States, or you can take away the tap from the bottle?
We have both. You know, we have a lot of different, you're talking about bottled water.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot of different types of bottled water. I haven't drunk from a plastic water bottle in like 20 years. I don't buy them. I don't use them. So I don't really know.
Because it changed from me like this. The kids were very, very proud to have the possibility to bring a big sack full only from with the tap. And do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
And now everything disappeared, and I don't know the reason. So for this reason, I am asking what you do in the States.
Yes, a lot of people bring their own water bottles with them.
Not here.
Yeah, really, that's so interesting. I really feel, well, I really feel like Europe is so far ahead of us. But actually, I saw a speaker once from France, and she made a comment that even though there are laws about a lot of it about like black plastic, by the way, is especially bad. I don't know how much black plastic you have here. But she said there are laws against certain plastics and whatnot. She said there's zero enforcement, right? So even though they have the laws, that's not being enforced. And so like I always think that Europe is so much better off than we are, but maybe there's certain areas where it's not. And yeah, it's a big undertaking.
A lot. This is normal here. We have the different container and we recycle a lot, and you can have a bench made from
Yes,
plastic.
exactly. Which is one thing we don't have in the States. And then there are some states that don't even recycle. Like everything is trash, which saddens me. Yeah.
If someone transform it in art, for example, there's a project called New York City Garbage. They took the garbage, they put it in a cube, in a plastic cube, I don't know, in a plastic cube, and they sell it as it was a work of art.
So we do, I actually just missed a presentation the other day. I had a conflict and I've got the recording. I haven't watched it yet, but it really actually is about turning trash into art. Which I think is, whatever,
Yes.
and then I saw there was it was a Rotary thing actually, from Costa Rica, I believe, where they did a fashion show. And yes, yep. Yeah. So going back to the whole worldwide thing, I think that every region, every area presents its own unique challenges. There's some regions that are doing really well in certain areas and then, not so well in others, and some regions that need help everywhere.
Yeah, that's why there is Rotary Foundation, Rotary International, so Rotary International Financing, and then every club locally can act to solve the problems they have in their areas.
Exactly. So, anything else? See, I love talking trash. I just
Stay here, Andrea. Okay. No, because I want to make a final comment,
Okay.
because I was listening to what also the audience was saying, not just asking questions, but making comments. So I really think that how should I phrase it? If we wanted to change the world, we need to start from our house,
Yes.
start from the home. And as you said, there are different kind of problem in different countries. Because I was now remember that in one of the Eco Club Zoom meeting, there was an Indian guys that he had a factory for recycling.
Yes.
But he was going around in villages to collect the plastic, and they were giving rewards to the families that were collecting plastic and not throw it in the closest river or whatever. So you see, here we were talking about legislation. In other country, probably we are not at the level of creating a legislation, but we need to start somewhere and somehow. And I really think that, as we said, changing the world for the plastic, it's a work that needs to start from the ground level, from the really the individual.
Exactly.
Okay, if there are no other questions, thank you, Andrea.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
And if Olderico helps me, I want to show a video that has been produced by, just a second, is this one. Stop it. Okay. So before it starts, it's okay, this is a video about a Rotaract event that was done last year in Luxembourg. It shows us the way in which big Rotary events can be done in an environmental friendly way. This video was okay. Let's see the video.
The Rotaract European Meeting is a biannual gathering that brings together young leaders from all over Europe. It's a powerful platform for networking, collaboration, and developing leadership skills. Each edition is hosted in a different country, and in October 2024, Luxembourg had the honor of welcoming 400 participants from 45 countries, with sustainability at the heart of our mission. Our green strategy had two core pillars, the environment and social inclusion. We encouraged reduced travel, promoted public transportation, managed waste, donated leftover food, used reusable cups, and even calculated our ecological footprint. On the social side, we proudly involved people with Down syndrome in our actions and made sure the event was accessible to younger Rotaractors.
Our event embraced eco-conscious practices at every level. We chose Park Hotel Alvis for its green certifications, prioritized shared mobility and free public transport, and went fully digital, no printed materials at all. Catering was eco-responsible, and our workshops tackled crucial topics like environmental racism, climate migration, sustainable fashion, and digital inclusion.
One of our proudest social projects was Revamp Your Wardrobe. We collected 200 kilograms of high-quality clothing and created a pop-up market where everyone could give or take freely, no exchange required. With over 1,500 kilograms of CO2 saved, the initiative promoted circular fashion, conscious consumption, and a true spirit of generosity. Through 141 Project, we planted 400 trees, one for each participant, creating a symbolic Rotaract forest. This action will offset 7,700 kilograms of CO annually, supporting biodiversity and local reforestation efforts. Each tree represents our commitment to the planet, ensuring a lasting environmental legacy beyond the event.
For our sustainable gala, we used natural materials like wood, greenery, and glass, inspired by Luxembourg's nature. With zero single-use plastics and all decor being reusable or compostable, we minimized waste. The visual storytelling brought the essence of a Luxembourg forest to life, creating a truly immersive and eco-friendly experience.
For our event, we carefully selected eco-gadgets and welcome bags with low environmental impact, focused on reusability, biodegradability, and minimal packaging. All production was certified in Europe, meeting high environmental and labor standards. Most sponsor-provided items aligned with our sustainability goals, supporting our mission for a greener future. Welcome bags were made from reusable cotton, designed to be durable and washable. We ensured everything was sourced from local suppliers, avoiding waste and single-use plastics. We also introduced plantable name badges made from 100% recycled cardboard, with wildflower seeds embedded in handwritten tags. After the event, participants could plant them, symbolizing growth and environmental regeneration. Finally, Peckville Chen, a local souvenir made from biodegradable PLA bioplastic, sponsored by the Ministry of the Interior, provided a plastic-free, meaningful keepsake. It naturally decomposes in just 3 months.
The event promoted a circular economy and sustainable habits among participants, showing that large-scale youth events can be both fun and eco-friendly. Through responsible planning, we reduced emissions and waste, inspiring participants to bring green practices back to their local clubs and future events.
I think it's finished, yes. I don't know what you think, but for me, it's quite inspirational that, okay, a group of 400 young people create an event thinking so much also on the details of making an environmental friendly event. So I don't know if everything they did is correct. I don't know if there are things that could be done better. But I think that in general, the approach is remarkable, and probably this video should be a guideline for everyone that wants to organize a large event. Only the fact that there were 400 people and that they planted 400 trees, for me, is something that has some values. I don't know if you have any comment.
But all this is in Luxembourg, that is smaller than Los Angeles downtown.
It was just a meeting there, but it was from all of Europe. The
No,
people.
but I mean, I thought this was organized from Rotary Luxembourg, and this.
No, but what is in it was an international
Okay,
event.
okay, thank you.
That is true. Every country has maybe some difference, but I think that the logic and the way of thinking in organizing an event it is probably a lesson that everyone should.
Sorry, I've seen several meetings organized, bringing normal dishes, washing, taking back with no plastic and nothing. You just wash again. Yes. That's all.
Well, that's the whole idea of the bingo cards that we're creating at the club level too, is for reusables rather than single use. So this was really great to see.